In addition to resource costs, a project also has fixed costs. They're one-off quotes. To enter my fixed costs, I need to insert the fixed costs column. So I'm going to right-click the Start column heading, for example, and I'll then click Insert Column. If I then press F on my keyboard, I'll jump down to those fields that begin with F, and here's fixed cost. What I can then do is go through my tasks applying any fixed costs that I have. For example, the site's going to cost me $500, the costume's $2,000, the entertainment will be $1,000, alerting the community will be $400, $500 for press release, and $200 for rent tents. And I'll just go down entering all the values for the fixed costs that I have. And lastly, a fixed cost of $100 for writing thank you letters. Having entered my fixed costs, I now find that I can now insert another column to see what my total cost is. Before I do so though, I just want to explain there is a bug with Project, and it has been a bug since the first release of Project. Unfortunately, Project will not sum the fixed costs at a summary task or a project summary task level. But anyway, I'm going to right click the Start column, and I'm going to insert another column. And the column I want to insert is total cost. Now, just like total work is referred to as work, and total cost is referred to as cost. So I'm going to insert the column cost by pressing C and choosing the cost column. I can then see the total cost of my wedding, and I can see a breakdown of the cost by each summary task. For example, here I can see I have a fixed cost of $500, and $25.18 must be a resource cost. Here I can see I have a total cost of $2,503.66, so of that $2,000 is a fixed cost and $503.66 is a resource cost. What I'd like to see is another column with my resource costs, but Project doesn't provide this, so I have to make it. You can make your own columns, and you can either make calculated columns. For example, I might right-click Cost, and I'll choose from here Custom Fields. There are a lot of spare custom fields. For example, in the top right corner, I have text selected, and as I scroll down, I can see I have 30 spare text fields that I can use for whatever reason. I also have spare date fields, and I have spare duration fields, and all sorts of different fields that are spare, such as text fields and number fields. What I'd like to do is choose a cost field, and I have 10 of these that are spares. I'm going to take the first cost field, cost 1, and I'm going to rename it. And I might rename it resource cost or wages, whatever you want to call it. And when I click OK, I'm now using cost 1, and it's called resource cost. And I could just insert it as it is, and I could enter the resource cost. But I actually want to calculate the resource cost by taking the total cost, subtracting the fixed cost, should give me my resource cost. So I'll click the formula button. What I have here is I can edit the formula, and it says resource cost is equal to what? So I click the field button, I go to the cost category, and I choose the field cost. Resource cost is equal to cost, which is total cost, minus another field in the cost category called fixed cost. So resource cost is equal to total cost minus fixed cost, and I'll click OK. And it says if any data was in the cost 1 field, it'll now be overwritten with this calculation. So I'll click OK again and OK again. Now, just because I've created this customized field doesn't mean it's automatically inserted. So now I need to insert it. If I right click cost, I can insert column, and if I hit R for resource cost, I can choose my resource cost column, which is a variation of cost 1. If I click this particular field, I can now see my resource costs. Here's my $25.18 add it to my fixed cost to give me a total cost of $525.18. So you can also insert calculated columns, and you can also insert spare columns. For example, I might right-click cost, well actually I'll right-click fixed cost. I might insert a column and choose any of these particular columns. But if what I want is not listed, then I'll press escape. I'll right-click fixed cost. I'll choose custom fields, and maybe I'll choose the spare text field. I'll rename that, maybe job number, and OK. If I don't want it to be a formula, I'll just click OK again, and I've made a new column, a spare text column called job number. If I then right-click fixed cost, I can insert the column for job number. So I press J for job number. Now I have a column that I can insert manually any job numbers against each task. So you've got spare text columns, cost columns, duration columns, date columns that you can use for your own purpose. And if you wish to hide a column, because you can't really delete a column, just right-click job number and hide the column.